Hello, this is Anna from the Yarn Randomizer, and today I am going to try to recover from this kind of small catastrophe that happened. I think I had explained in my video that I'd set this down and got up to go get something and caught my foot on the yarn, and as a result I ended up yanking out these stitches here. So I can see a variety of things going on here, and so what I'm going to do is whatever loops I can see here, I'm going to attempt to capture them. So first things first is I'm going to try to stop the bleeding, so to speak. All right. So that looks like the worst of it. Now, what I've got to figure out, and I'm figuring this out live here, is kind of where I'm at. So the live yarn is here. So I think actually I'm going to slip each of these over and get them mounted correctly on this needle first. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, that goes like that. This one goes like that. And let's see, that one goes that way. And that one goes that way. Okay, so now I'm going to set this needle aside. Now I've got to figure out what am I missing as far as stitches. Now you can see that this stitch is one part of the column of stitches, and then this next one here, and the previous row had, well, each right side row on this pattern has yarn overs in it. But bottom line, once I worked back across, there should be, I think it's 12 stitches. Let me think about that. 12, I believe it's 12 stitches. This, ultimately what's coming up here is a reduction here. And then it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it looks like we're missing a couple of stitches. Now, I can see, based on that, it looks like there was a yarn over in here that probably had a stitch worked in it, and I can kind of confirm this. I can look over here. So I'm going to find this same spot over here. So there's these 3 stitches here, and then there was a yarn over, and then a yarn over that was worked through, 2 stitches, a yarn over, and a yarn over that was worked through. So that's the alternating pattern. So a stitch, a yarn over, 2 stitches, a yarn over, 2 stitches. Yep, there is supposed to be a yarn over here, and I can see that this was likely the yarn over. So I'm going to pick this back up and set it, get it mounted properly on the needle. There. Now I believe that does look correct. Now we know that based on the pattern there'll be 2 more stitches coming back, and here again there should have been a yarn over that was worked from the previous row. So this would have been the yarn over, I believe, and this would have been the stitch that worked the yarn over there. So I think that is correct. But let's see, I think there is one funny thing going on here, and that is, I'm trying to see, I feel like, let's see, where does this, or maybe it is correct. Okay, what I'm trying to confirm is this yarn here on this last stitch on this side comes from there. And it does not. It comes from this lower stitch, and that does not seem right. So let's undo that again. Let's take a look at this. So this is the yarn coming across. Oh, and this yarn here, basically it looks like, you know, not only did I lose the yarn over, but it looks like this stitch here was lost. Yeah, so it's connected to the previous row's yarn. So I am going to, this I believe would have just been a knit stitch, but I'm not 100% certain. Let's pull this through. Let's think about this a little bit. Actually, so the way this pattern works, I have this sitting here. I'm going to take off my glasses and get a closer look. There should be, oh, I see it there. Okay. So here is the, there's a, it's going to be very difficult to see, but there's a little make one. This stitch here is a make one, I believe it's a make one right from the previous row. So this stitch was formed, and this is the stitch that follows it. Now after a make one in this pattern, after an increase of this column, you do a knit one. So this is supposed to be a knit one. And I just know this from the pattern description. You know, you would have to understand the pattern you're knitting. So I believe I can just pull this up as a knit stitch. So let's take a look here and pull this up. But I'm going to slide this back over. I still know that here's that gap here where this yarn here was a yarn over from the previous row, and this one would have knit it on the, as I purled back across. All right, now let's take a look. So now there should be between this column and not including this one, there's going to be a double reduction here, but there should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 11, 12. 4. So there's appropriate number of stitches here. Now let me slide those back over. And where did I leave off? Yeah, let's bring all of those back over. Is that mounted correctly? Yes. And there, okay, there's my live yarn. So if I look at this, I know I'm going to make one left here, knit one, make one right, and it should be a knit one yarn over, knit two together, knit one yarn over, knit two together, knit one yarn over, knit two together, and then knit one yarn over, knit two together, and treble reduction. So it looks on its surface, this is the correct count of stitches. There looks like there was the yarn overs from the previous right side row that are worked correctly. Now, I also want to turn this over and make sure that there are no, so I don't see any loose strands here at all. So I believe this is correctly recovered. So I was lucky that it didn't, looks like it did not run down further in the rows. I just lost the two of the yarn overs that had been worked here and had to recover them. But that's it. It looks like that's fixed. I will continue on with this row and knitting this, and we'll see. We'll come back and check. I'll do a little recording and check, see how this looks. So I'm going to put a stitch marker down here so I know it's this segment, and I will work a few more rows and I'll come back and do a video to see if it's looking correct. All right, I'm back with this and finished the last rows of the lace for this section. And I have a marker here, so our repair was right in this area. Oh, let's see if I can unhook this so we can get a look. Ooh, let's see. Don't want to destroy the the knitting with the marker. Oh dear. Well, heckaroni. Oh. Let's see if we can get that off of there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the repair was in here, and I don't think you can see any issues in there at all. Looks like the pattern continues exactly as intended as far as I can see, and even if there is a mistake in there, it's not obvious at all. And so I think we're good to go. So I finished this lace section. It's back to a mohair section, and then on to the next color on the shawl. So thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful to see these kinds of repairs, and I'll try to be patient enough to record the next error that I make. And the thing I always like to tell people is you will always, no matter how long you've been knitting, you'll have things you have to fix occasionally. And so it's really good to get more and more comfortable with doing that. So I hope these are helpful for that. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and enjoy your knits.